Morning gang, it's Jay, and I am doing my my fifth elective for the Bushclass Basic course, and that decided to do making a first aid kit. I like first aid. I think it's one of the most important things, if not the most important, if you're going to be active in the outdoors. And I really believe that having that knowledge and the training to be able to take care of certain situations is invaluable. You can't go wrong with it, whether it's in your home or in your car, at work, in the backcountry, wherever you may be. Being able to rely on yourself and what you carry is extremely important. So I carry a multitude of first aid kits, from my big heavy duty first aid kit that has everything I would need from to stop major hemorrhaging, bleeding, breaks, clearing airways, covering chest wounds, things, anything from gunshots to fire to stabbing wounds. I have a big comprehensive kit there that I carry for multiple purposes. I have smaller kits that I carry, smaller backpacking kits that work out great. For myself, it's more of an individual kit, something I put together. I like it. And then for the class, we have to put together our own first aid kit. And going through this, I realized that I have a big kit that I keep for with my scout group, but that's stays with the scout stuff. But I really didn't have something that was more of like a small group kit, something for 3 to 4 people to be able to treat things, and something more basic. It doesn't have to be tactical. It doesn't have to be super trauma related, but it has to be able to take care of certain needs in the backcountry, that your most basic stuff. So I figured I was going to go through my my stuff and all the loose odds and ends I had. I threw everything together in a big bag that I had laying around in a box. Went out and purchased a few additional things that I realized I was kind of missing or was expired. And we'll put together a kit, so stay tuned. Alright gang, so starting off, for the class to be able to put together your own first aid kit, I've dug out an old pouch that I had that I wasn't using from outdoor research, just like in the personal survival kit. I have a lot of old OR pouches. This one I believe I used to use for a kitchen kit, but that's long gone. So pulled out a pouch, put a cross on it for visibility, easy identification, plus it's red, which is a big bonus. As you saw in the opener there, my first aid kits aren't red. They're camouflage or tan, and I had to put a cross on them for identification. So this is going to be a little bit different. So we're going to use that for putting everything in. And then I have my bag of stuff. So I'm just going to dump everything out here, and we'll go through it all in no specific order, I guess. First and foremost, just a quick reference guide for anybody who doesn't have proper training. It's important to, especially for more simple things, to have a quick reference guide. But, something like that in there can be a booklet, anything that you can keep in with your first aid kit. It's not a bad idea. Wet wipes. I think it's important to have wet wipes in a first aid kit. Cleaning blood off of hands, cleaning around a wound area, cleaning off dirt, scrapes, bruises. Especially if you're out with kids, it's amazing how some hand wipes go a long way with that. Plus it can be used as toilet paper. A lot of different uses, but something to be able to clean from a hygiene perspective and a disinfectant perspective is really nice there. Space blankets. Multiple uses. One of the big things in a first aid kit is shock treatment. To be able to keep somebody warm is important if they're going into shock. That's one of the first things that that you'll learn to do, is if the patient is showing signs of that, is you need to get them warm and comfortable. So a simple space blanket works out wonders for that. I have a cravat or a triangular bandage, great for slings, great for tying on splints or attaching it. It can be dunked in water and wrapped around somebody's head if or their neck if for heat exhaustion. Multiple uses once again, so it doesn't hurt to have, you know, that simple triangular cravat or bandage in your kits. Carry some medical wrap. This can be used like an ace bandage. It's adhesive, but it doesn't tear hair off, especially you guys with, like myself, you get hairy arms, hairy legs. It doesn't hurt when you peel it off, which is kind of nice for kids. A lot of sports activities use these for wrapping sprains, muscle areas, things like that. So these are great for holding down bandages or just wrapping those tender sprained areas. I carry a Israeli bandage and everything. It's great as it's a pressure bandage is what it is. Major bleeding, it's going to help with that, with controlling that. As with most medical equipment, make sure you're seeking proper instruction, whether it's wilderness first aid up to wilderness first responder. For those of you who have the opportunity in your area, I highly recommend you take the civilian version of the military's Tactical Combat Casualty Care course. It is a wealth of knowledge, and you'll really go in depth with a lot more trauma-related items. But an Israeli bandage, pressure bandage, great for major bleeding. Nitrile gloves. I always keep a few pairs in all of my kits. Once again, it's protecting yourself from, you know, spread of disease or anything else. It's you're protecting yourself there, so keep gloves on hand. Simple medical tape. You know, it can be the clear kind that's waterproof. It can be the old tape kind. I like the waterproof stuff myself, but it's just a personal preference. Great for attaching gauze or bandages, sealing up band-aids, things like that. Carry a tick removal tool. In my area, we get a lot of ticks in our area, whether it be, you know, you find them on the dogs, you find them on the kids. You know, they've been getting worse and worse, it seems, the last few years. So having a tick removal tool to be able to remove it the proper way works out really well. I've used them multiple times there. Carry a casualty card and everything. This is great for being able to write down what's happening. If you're in an area where you need to relay info to somebody, whether it be on, you know, via radio, via cell phone, via somebody who you're sending a runner out to a trailhead or a parking lot to meet up with emergency care, having something to be able to write everything down on for a victim is huge. You don't want that. You don't want information to be wrong that's being translated. So when, you know, more advanced care arrives, they really know what's going on. So that combined with a pencil or a Sharpie, I like Sharpies because you can write on skin as well. These are invaluable to be able to have there. Another thing with a Sharpie that a lot of people don't realize, but like things like insect bites, when you're trying to gauge the amount of swelling that's happening in an area, to be able to take your Sharpie and trace it out while you're monitoring it, so you can see if it's getting worse or if it's lessening. You can write times down on things on people. That makes a big difference. So from an aspect of care, Sharpie goes, you know, does wonders there. Carry a pair of trauma shears and everything. From cutting pant legs, shirts, cutting through wire. These things will cut through heavy-duty plastic, belts, webbing, what you name it. They'll cut through tin. Good pair of trauma shears. Don't go cheap on these. Get a good pair, and something that has big enough handles to be able to use with gloves as well. Goes a long way. Saline solution. These are great little disposable one-use things. A really bad cut, somebody gets something in their eye, to be able to use the saline solution for rinsing it out is a big bonus there. Quick clot or clotting sponge. These are great for major cuts, especially on arms, on legs. Goes a long way. It's once again proper training in how to use it. I can't stress that enough. But these things work awesome. A couple things of rolled gauze. Rolled gauze can be from packing a wound, a really bad bleeding wound, to be able to pack it full of that to stop the bleeding. For wrapping sprains, wrapping bandages, especially bandages on the arms, to be able to quickly wrap that up and secure it in a hand or tuck it. Rolled gauze, multiple uses, works great. I usually keep a couple sealed packs and everything. Seems silly, but face masks. Think about forest fires. Think about an event, let's say 9/11, where you have a lot of particulate matter in the air. To be able to have a couple face masks to be able to protect your breathing is going to go a really long way. These aren't your fancier, N95 masks. You're not going to wear these in viral areas. Wuhan's going around, coming to a town near you soon. And these aren't the kind of masks you're going to wear for that. But for particulate matter in the air, smoke, it doesn't hurt to have a couple of them with you to be able to protect yourself there. Medications. I carry everything from allergy pills, cold and cough medicine, Advil, Aleve, Tums for upset stomachs, all that kind of stuff really goes well. The Tums, I never used to carry Tums until a couple years ago. I took my son on a backpacking trip, and he, believe it or not, he had never had freeze-dried food before. He had a Mountain House meal, and he got sick to his stomach and threw up. He had an upset stomach the rest of the night, and it was just from he had never had it before. It never occurred to me to maybe try it beforehand. But regardless, having something for an upset stomach is going to go a long way, especially kids. Kids who are homesick get upset to their stomach. Tums goes a long way. Take it from personal experience. So having enough medication for yourself works out really well. And make sure it's clearly labeled as well. A lot of times people just throw medication into a bag and they forget what's what. So don't want that happening. So your medication. Basic boo-boo care. Prep pads, antiseptic wipes. All different size Band-Aids, butterfly closures, suture strips, moleskin, Q-tips, all that stuff. Keeping a nice little Ziploc baggie so they're easy to keep track of in your bag. Ointments, I have some burn cream and some triple antibiotic ointment, Neosporin. It's amazing how much those things work. The burn cream, think about it. You're out in the backcountry. Most of us, having a fire or using a stove is a daily part of your routine. There's a pretty high probability of getting a burn, so a little bit of burn cream will go a long way there for soothing that. And then I have a bag of larger gauze pads, everything from an abdominal pad all the way down to your smaller 2-inch by 2-inch gauze pads. So, having all of that. Keeping them in their sealed packaging for protection is good. Notice I organize things in a lot of Ziploc baggies, so it helps me out with identifying things, but just keeping it clean and organized there. So all that into my little first aid kits. So we'll see how well it all stacks in there. I haven't even tried to put it in there yet. I figure I'd save that for this exercise and see what happens. Put all that in there. Yeah, it looks like we're going to have plenty of space for stuff in here, so that's going to work out good. We got that. We'll take the Sharpie, put it in this little sleeve in the back there. That works out good. This clear panel, I don't know what I'm going to put in there. keep our wet wipes in there, keep our space blanket maybe, put our triangular bandage, and keep our tape in here, keep that in there. Let's see, we'll put saline solution in there, maybe. Oh yeah. No, that's not gonna fit. We'll do this. Fold this in half, put those in there. Do I have room for anything else in there? I don't know. I may need to rethink a few of those things, but we'll do that. Is it all gonna zip up? It might. Aha. And we got ourselves a first aid kit. We're done. So that's all. I think that takes care of the last elective that I need to do there. Probably gonna have to slim this down a little bit. Maybe take one or two things out for it to fit. But I went a little expansive there. But overall, there's my first aid kit for a group of 3 to 4 people. So that's it. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll catch you on the next one. Thanks. Bye-bye.